you're on TikTok at all, or if you watch any YouTube commentary creators, then you probably know who the Resilient Jenkins are. And if you know who they are, then you've probably heard of their most recent controversy. That being that Stephanie Jenkins has basically, in a backhanded and manipulative way, subtly admitted to the fact that they are planning to abandon their cats when they get evicted. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here. Please bear with me today, guys. I just got Invisalign put in literally like 2 hours ago, so I'm talking a little bit weirdly. If I've got a bit of a lisp or just anything else, just that's why. Please don't judge me. So today we have the misfortune of having to talk about the Resilient Jenkins. I have stayed up to date and followed their entire story the past few months, like basically since they blew up on TikTok. I've been watching all of the commentary videos on them, like Amy Robinson, Denki Jabo, like I've been watching all of them. I've been staying up to date, and I always had a bit of a problem with the way that they treated their cats, but I didn't really want to make a video on it, but now I feel like I kind of have to. Okay, so let's just go ahead and watch this video.
After debating for some time, we decided we will not have indoor cats when we move. Prior to me and Drew getting together, I had one cat and he had one cat. The cat that he had was a stray that came in from outside, and the cat that I had was a cat that I received from a friend. Becoming a family, we brought in 2 other stray cats. So at one point we did have 4 cats in this apartment. That seriously did not last long, not even more than a couple of weeks, and then my cat Conscious, who has always been a free spirit, wanted to go outside, and so we let her do so. It's always been my opinion that if you have cats and they act like they want to go outside, let them outside. They're animals. And I don't mean for that to sound any bit insensitive. To me, it seems like you're doing the cat a disfavor when they're asking to go outside. That's where they want to be happy, and you're not letting them go. And let's be honest, as much as we love our fur babies, they sure do mess up the inside. I won't miss waking up to cat hair all over my counters. And yes, I am aware that's probably more than likely why we dealt with a flea issue to begin with. We just wanted our kids to experience having their fur babies inside with all the cuddles they wanted. But we feel now it's just the best interest in all of our family members to have them just be outdoor kitties. That does not mean we just stick them outside and not take care of them. Our cats still get plenty of cuddles and they get fed every day. But this way they get to...
Oh, they get cuddles and fed every day because those are the only 2 things that cats need to live a good life.
Be the free spirits they like to be outside, and we can go about preventing some of the damages that cats bring to a home as well as all the cat hair. But we always still love our fur babies.
If you don't want to have to deal with the damages that having cats in your house can bring, then don't have cats. I don't know how else to say it. And I hate this whole concept of, you know, you're doing them a disservice if they want to go outside and you're not letting them, because they don't know what's best for them. Now, I love it when animals can live as naturally as possible. Okay, I love it when animals and people can live as naturally as possible. You know, I'm a horse owner. My horse lives outside 24/7, and anyone that knows me knows that I am a huge advocate for 24/7 turnout. However, that is a horse. These are domestic cats. Okay, it's a completely different situation. Animals that we have domesticated and raised and trained to live indoors are not meant to live outdoors. And it is not up to the cat to tell you, I want to go outside, that's what's best for me, so let me do that. That's not the cat's job, okay? It is your job as the owner to make the best possible decisions for your cat's well-being. And being a full-time outdoor cat in the middle of the city is not in your cat's best interest. Okay, it's not like you live on a large farm property where your cat can just go out and roam your fields, your pathways, like go see the other animals and then come back into the barn. Okay, no, like that's not the situation here. You live in an apartment complex in the middle of the city. It's not doing your cat a disservice to keep them safe or to do what's best for them. If one of your kids came to you and said, I don't want to go to school, I don't like going to school, is it a disservice to then continue to make them go to school? Or would you just keep them home because they don't want to go to school because they don't like it and they're free spirits? What? I'm also just going to point out the fact that your cats probably wouldn't tear up your apartment so much if they weren't cramped inside a 1-bedroom apartment with 7 people. Okay, like you can have cats in a 1-bedroom apartment, that's completely fine, but when the apartment is as cramped as yours is physically with furniture and with people, and I highly doubt that they're getting all of the mental enrichment that they need, considering that you just think apparently feeding them and cuddling them is all you have to do to keep a cat healthy. That's not how it works. Now, they said in the video that they're gonna let their cats be outdoor cats from now on, but they didn't specifically say, that they're gonna leave them here when they move. So let's play devil's advocate here for a moment and assume that wherever they go, they're taking the cats with them. But still, if that is the case, then we have to ask, is having an outdoor cat even legal where they live? Now, the Resilient Jenkins live in Portland, Oregon, and I am not a stalker, okay? They have openly admitted to the fact that they live there, and their location, being Oregon, has been tagged in pretty much all of their videos. Like, they put that information out there, which, just for the record, don't share what city you live in on the internet, okay? Especially if you have a huge platform, or just in general, don't share what city you live in with the entire internet, especially if you live with kids and you have kids. It's just not safe. Don't do that. Anyways, the short answer is yes, you can have an outdoor cat in Oregon. It is legal. However, you still have to meet basic requirements of care. So the minimum requirements of care for a domestic animal in Oregon are as follows. Food of sufficient quality and quantity to allow for normal growth or maintenance of body weight. She says they're still feeding them, so let's just assume that for now, she is, and that it's adequate. Access to potable water, suitable for drinking. So cats are actually designed to get the majority of their daily water intake through their food, but they do still need additional water to drink. So I'm assuming that if they are allowing the cats to come inside to eat, then they're also going to be providing water. So let's assume that they're doing that. However, the cats are probably still drinking out of puddles outside. Let's be real, guys. I mean, my dog will drink out of puddles in the backyard. My horse drinks out of puddles in her field, even though there's an automatic water with like the freshest, cleanest water it is possible to get. And she still drinks out of puddles. Veterinary care when necessary to relieve distress from illness, injury, or disease. We actually already know that they don't do that one. There was a time when Stephanie was crying on the internet about how it sucks to be broke because you can't afford to take your cat to the vet when they have a skin infection. She posted photos of the skin infection. This cat was not doing well, and she didn't take it to the vet because she couldn't afford it. Which, guys, if you can't afford a vet bill for a simple skin infection, then don't get a pet. Veterinary care is not optional here. If your cat, your dog, your whatever gets a skin infection, you have to be able to take care of it. You have to be able to afford to take your animal to the vet. Access to an area kept reasonably free from excess waste or other contaminants that could affect the animal's health. I mean, she said that they're coming in for cuddles, but if they're living outside, then they probably don't really always have access to that space. And we've also seen several videos where Stephanie is literally just picking up entire garbage bags worth of trash off of the floor in her apartment, so that one's a little bit iffy. Suitable air temperature for the animal and constant access to adequate shelter. Now, again, she said they're allowed to come in to eat, but if they're still supposed to be outdoor cats, then they don't really have access to that shelter, I'm assuming. Now, Oregon law also specifies what is not considered adequate shelter, which is crawl spaces under buildings or parts of a building, such as steps, decks, or overhangs, or stoops, the space under a vehicle, the inside of a vehicle if kept there in a manner that would be considered detrimental to an animal's health or safety, shelters made from cardboard or other degradable materials, wire or plastic travel crates, shelters with wire or chain link floors unless the domestic animal is a bird, shelters surrounded by waste, debris, obstructions, or impediments that could adversely affect an animal's health. Now, this is where it gets a little bit iffy, okay? Because she did say that they're allowed to come inside to eat and to get snuggles. So if they're inside the apartment, that would classify as adequate shelter, but we don't actually know if they have constant access to the apartment. If they were going to have proper full-time access, then a window would have to be open 24/7, and since they live in a state where it gets pretty cold in the winter, I'm assuming that they don't do that, which means that they don't actually have constant access to that adequate shelter. I feel that if you're going to have a full-time outdoor cat and not just a cat that sometimes goes outside, then you need to be providing them with a doghouse or a shed or a barn that is properly insulated that they have access to at all times. Honestly, I'm very skeptical that they're meeting even half of these requirements. I mean, we know that they're not meeting the veterinary care requirement. They've already admitted to that several times over. So Stephanie also posted this TikTok on Facebook, and Facebook is one of the only places where Stephanie seems to actually reply to comments, and she had a lot to say when people were sharing their opinions on this situation. So someone under the Facebook video said, "This is what garbage people do. They get evicted and then leave the animals to fend for themselves." So she starts her comment with that quote and then says, "Haha, and your name is Karen, absolutely perfect." Now, if you had actually listened, you would have heard that these cats were strays long before we arrived. That is incorrect, actually. You said that I believe 3 of them were strays and that one of them came from your friend, so that cat was not a stray. And regardless, even if they were all strays, you have now taken them in to your care, into your apartment, and changed how they live for however long, whether that's months or years, so that really null and void doesn't matter. And there is in fact many, many strays in the area where we live. So, when we decided to have indoor-outdoor cats, we took the extra step to take the 3 male cats to get neutered, and we kept them in the home to heal. Congratulations, you did literally the bare minimum. The cats have always been indoor-outdoor cats. The only time they spent the majority of the time in the home was during cold weather spikes, but even then, one of the cats chooses to be outside most of the year. That's where she wants to be. Oh, so what you're saying is actually only one of the cats likes to be outside most of the time. And even then, she wanted to come in during the cold parts of winter. It sounds to me like you're actually not doing this for the cat's benefit, because it doesn't seem to be what the cats actually want. If they want to be inside during, the coldest parts of the winter, and you are making them be fully outdoor cats, you are admitting to forcing them to live outside in cold temperatures that they don't want to be in. Maybe you haven't experienced cats that prefer outdoors, but these cats will literally sit by the door scratching and meowing to go outside. I'm pretty sure all cats do that. My aunt has cats that I take care of regularly, and one of her cats literally is so obsessed with being outside that you have to be so quick when you come in the front door and shut it, because otherwise he will run out so quickly. Like it's a problem. He's gotten out before. Now she has a yard, she has a backyard that's has a 10-foot tall fence, I think, so she does let the cats outside in their backyard, monitored, and then they come back inside. So the cat does get to explore some time outside, but it's safe and it's monitored. And he's not just allowed to be an outdoor cat, even though he's obsessed with the outdoors, because he doesn't have front claws, so he can't defend himself. And also, he could get hit by a car. But while inside, the cats do normal cat stuff like jump on the counters, scratch holes into the carpet, and bring unwanted pests inside. And while I'm well aware that the pest part could be controlled with expensive medications, that's not always possible to provide for multiple animals. Stephanie, girl, I am going to hold your hand while I say this. If you cannot afford proper veterinary care or flea and tick preventative for multiple animals, then do not have multiple animals. It really, truly is that simple. I promise you, there is nothing additional, nothing complicated about it. It really is that simple. And maybe they're scratching holes in the carpet because they have no space in your crowded apartment to be able to, do normal behaviors. Maybe they're not getting enriched properly. And yeah, your cats are going to bring pests inside if you allow them outside. Even if they weren't just permanently outdoor cats. You said that they've been indoor-outdoor cats and they've been bringing fleas and other pests into your house, then why did you continue to let them outside? And if you're allowing them to be fully outdoor cats, but you're still allowing them to come in for snuggles and to eat, they're going to continue to bring pests inside. You are not changing that by making them spend a little bit more time outside than they already are. If you're saying that they've mostly spent most of their time outdoors, they're just gonna continue to bring pests inside. So I'm not sure what your point is here. I don't care if you don't see the reality of that. It's not your life affected by it. It's my family's. And it's the cats. It's not just about you. It's about the cats. You took on that burden when you brought in the strays and the not stray. And mine and Drew's call what's best for our kiddos, not what's best for the cats. I said nothing about leaving the cats when we move. You decided to speak that narrative yourself. We are not garbage people for doing things a more nature nut way. So apparently risking your cat's lives is a nature nut thing. You can call me a nature nut, nutty nuthead, that I'm fine with. Great grammar. But just because your opinion doesn't match mine, don't make me garbage. Have the day you deserve. And you know what? To be fair, true, you didn't say outright that we're going to let the cats outside and then we're going to leave and not take them with us. But you didn't actually have to, because we can actually make an argument that what you have already done is considered animal abandonment. Because legally, the state of Oregon classifies animal abandonment. A person commits the crime of animal abandonment if the person intentionally, knowingly, recklessly, or with criminal negligence leaves a domestic animal or an equine at a location without providing minimum care. Do we remember that we just confirmed they already don't meet the requirements for minimum care? They don't provide proper vet care. So just based off that, as soon as these cats become fully outdoor kitties, they've essentially been abandoned. And now when I was researching to determine what Oregon classified as animal abandonment, the next little thing on the list was what they classify as animal neglect. And so I took a gander. I was curious, I'm a curious gal over here. So let's just take a look at this for a second. Animal neglect in the second degree. A person commits the crime of animal neglect in the second degree if, except as otherwise authorized by law, which I don't know when that would happen, the person intentionally, knowingly, recklessly, or with criminal negligence fails to provide minimum care for an animal in such person's custody. And animal neglect in the second degree is a Class C felony if the person committing the offense has previously been convicted of 2 or more offenses under this section, or the equivalent laws of another jurisdiction. The offense was part of a criminal episode involving 11 or more animals, or the person knowingly commits the offense in the immediate presence of a minor child. Now, I don't know about you, but this video where Stephanie was saying, we can't afford to take the cat to the vet for this skin infection because we can't afford it, she knows that that's wrong. She's admitted that. And she's posting it on the internet for the world to see, and she has 5 kids, so I'm sure she's done some of this in front of her kids. Does the charge get multiplied by how many kids are present for it? Because if so, you're not doing well, honey. In Oregon, animal abandonment is considered a Class B misdemeanor, which personally I think it should be worse than that, but that's besides the point. So this can result in a fine of up to $2,500, which we know that they don't have because they're getting evicted for not paying rent, and up to 6 months in jail, which I don't know about you, but personally, I think those things are not good for the low-income parents of 5 young children having to pay the money you don't have and then also go to jail. Who's taking care of your kids? I don't think we want to go down that road, Stephanie. I don't. And Drew. I should say Drew as well. It's equally Drew's fault, okay? It's just that Stephanie's the one who posts the videos. And with Drew, we already know that he has no problem abandoning his own kid, so I highly doubt he has a problem abandoning cats, especially if they were strays beforehand. Stephanie then edited her comment on Facebook to say the following. Also, if I lost supporters over this, that is what it is. I said nothing about abandoning my animals. You kinda did. People choose to hear what they want, and it's a risk we take when being open and honest on social media. I'm sharing the real raw truths of what's happening in our life, and if you can't be supportive and understanding, then that's just not for you. When did I say they aren't coming with us? I just said they'd be outdoor, and I don't see the issue with that. Oh, you don't see the issue with the cat being an outdoor cat. Okay, don't worry, girl, don't worry. I got you. I'll talk you through it. Even if the Resilient Jenkins are meeting all of the basic requirements for care for their outdoor cats, there are so many reasons to be critical of this choice because there are so many bad things that can happen to your cats if you allow them to be outdoor cats. Now, when I'm saying all of this, I'm not talking about farm cats or barn cats because that's a different situation entirely. Some of these risks can still apply to farm or barn cats, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about cats in an urban setting, near apartment complexes, in suburban neighborhoods, that kind of thing. One of the biggest risks to an outdoor cat is traffic. On average, 5.4 million cats get hit by cars every year in the US, and 97% of those cats die from their injuries. Traffic is the leading cause of death for outdoor cats, and personally, that would be enough for me to not let my cat be an outdoor cat. Other animals can also hurt your cat, okay? From strays, feral cats and dogs, other predators, a coyote. Coyotes love a little cat snack. I used to work at a barn where we lost some cats to coyotes, okay? It does happen. A person might also hurt your cat, okay? Not everybody likes cats, not everybody likes animals, and there are some messed up people in the world who have no problem taking out their anger or frustrations on an innocent animal. Your cat might also hurt other animals or people. I know that everyone likes to think that their fur baby is just the sweetest little angel and could never hurt a single soul, but let's be real. Your cat is still a cat. Your cat is still an animal. Have you ever seen cats fight? Because it is nasty. They can cause a lot of damage. I actually literally have 2 scars on my chest from a cat that wasn't even a stray cat or anything. It was literally my friend's cat, and it had made it out of her apartment, and so I just picked it up to carry it back upstairs, and I didn't know that it didn't like being picked up, and so it clawed its way out of my arms, and I now have 2 scars from it. Your cat is also way more likely to contract diseases like feline immunodeficiency virus or feline leukemia virus when out on the streets, likely interacting with other cats or other animals, and, most of them probably aren't vaccinated. Being outside also increases the chance of your cat getting rabies or parasites like fleas, ticks, lungworm and tapeworm, or fungi like ringworm. And didn't you guys already have a flea problem? Remember when your kids had rashes and scabs from the fleas that your cats had that you couldn't treat because you couldn't take them to the vet or get flea and tick preventative? Remember that? I do. I think the whole internet does. Your cat can also get trapped or lost. Not all cats have good directional skills, okay? Take it from me. My name is Kat, and I have literally no sense of direction, to the point where it is extremely problematic and honestly embarrassing. When I was in the Dominican last year on a trip with my family, it took me 4 days to be able to find my way from my room to the beach, and it was literally a 2-minute walk in a straight line. I kid you not. Your cat isn't guaranteed to come back if they wander too far. They can get lost. It's also common for cats to get stuck up in trees, in people's garages, even in car engines. And if they're not found in time, they can starve to death, die from dehydration, or from exposure. When your cat spends barely any time in your home, it is pretty much impossible to adequately assess their health. Most cats that live outside go to the bathroom outside, which means that you can't see the frequency or the quality of their stool. You can't see how often they're urinating. You can't see if they're having pain when they are defecating or urinating. You have little to no control over what your cat is eating. Even if you are providing them food in your home, cats still have natural hunting instincts, and they are likely to go out and kill things and eat them, and that might not be so good for them. They could eat something poisonous, they could drink contaminated water with chemical runoff, they could hunt and eat an animal that has eaten or drank something poisonous, and it could then in turn poison them. They could also kill endangered or threatened species. Outdoor cats are essentially an invasive species, and we are seeing bird populations all over the world be decimated because of outdoor cats. The average lifespan of an outdoor cat is 2 to 5 years. For comparison, the average lifespan of an indoor cat is 10 to 15 years. You are seriously cutting your cat's lifespan into tiny, tiny little fraction of what it could be by making them an outdoor cat. Of course, there are benefits to your cat living outside, like more physical activity, the ability to partake in natural instinctual behaviors like hunting. They can go sniff and explore things, helps with mental stimulation, but you can provide a lot of these things in the home. If you're doing it properly, if you put in the time to do the research, if you talk to vets or feline behaviorists, people who are experts in their field, you can provide everything needed for your cat inside your home. And if you can't, then don't have a cat. Now, I'm a pretty empathetic person, okay? If you talk to anybody who knows me personally, they will tell you that I will pretty much bend over backwards to try and find a justifiable reason for someone to do or say something stupid. But I've been following the entire Resilient Jenkins story for months, and I can comfortably say that I have little to no sympathy for this family. I do have sympathy for the kids and for the cats because they are the dependents who have no say in this situation. I feel for them and I want to help them, but I have zero sympathy for the parents. I am sure that they've had struggles in their life that have led to parts of their current situation, and I am very sorry that that happened. But that is not an excuse for making your kids sleep on the floor in the kitchen, or for not getting adequate veterinary care for your cats, or for abandoning your cats. It's also not an excuse for the husband to continue to refuse to get a job. It's also not an excuse for you to continue to have children even though you cannot afford to take care of the ones that you already have. If you can't afford to take care of your kids, don't get cats. If you can't afford to take your cat to the vet, don't get more cats. Don't take in strays. If your cat's living in your house is no longer convenient for you, number one, too bad, so sad, you made a commitment to taking care of them when you brought them in. And number 2, either rehome them or take them to a shelter. Don't just let them outside to be free spirits. That's a death sentence. Now, looking over everything from all the videos I've seen of the way that the Resilient Jenkins take care of their cats, from the video where they are talking about how they want their cats to be outdoor cats from now on, you know, they were throwing out the litter tray, the carrier, just based off of what they have said, how they backtrack, you know, they contradict what they've even said themselves. Personally, I would not be surprised if these cats do end up getting left behind when they get evicted, because I'm pretty sure they're like 10 days away from having to move out and they have no place lined up. And the chances of them being able to find a place that will take in a family of 7, let alone 4 extra cats, are extremely limited. I really hope that they find a place. I do. I truly want them to be safe. But the chances of them finding a home that can take the cats is extremely slim. And I honestly just don't see them as the people who are going to put in the extra time and energy to get them rehomed or take them to a shelter. Personally, if I was just going off of the videos that I've watched, I would make the assumption that yes, they are abandoning their cats. However, I can't say that for sure. This is still alleged. It's just based off the information that I have. But regardless of whether or not they are leaving their cats behind, allowing them to be fully outdoor cats in the middle of Portland, Oregon is not a good idea in any way, shape, or form. You should not do that. And that decision should be well open for scrutiny, okay? People are gonna have their opinions about you, Stephanie, and they are going to share with you the fact that you are putting your cats in harm's way. And let's keep in mind that by the law in Oregon, you have essentially already abandoned them. But there is time for you to fix this, so long as, you know, the cats come back. The cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. We thought it was a guy, but sorry. My family sings that at me when I come in the front door a lot. In my opinion, the Resilient Jenkins should not have any cats or any pets of any kind. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, or at the very least learned something. If you are interested in hearing more about the Resilient Jenkins story, I will link some videos down below that I have watched about them. Some, you know, in-depth, very informational videos, because I am not becoming a commentary channel. My plan is not to make videos on them. I am only making this video because it pertains to my niche, which is animals, and this is where my knowledge and my expertise comes in. And so I wanted to share my thoughts, dive a little bit deeper into the problems with having an outdoor cat, or what really legally is animal abandonment, because I haven't seen anyone touch on that yet. So that is my purpose for being here. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you have a animal related topic that you would like me to cover, you can leave that in a comment, or you can send me a video or an account to react to this email here. That email will also be in the description and over in my bio over at my channel. So yeah, leave a like, leave a comment if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe because I post new videos every single week. And until I see you next time, please think critically.